The first large water source for the city of Dallas was White Rock Lake, constructed in the early 1900s. Since the drought of the 50s, many more reservoirs have appeared on the North Texas landscape. Lake Grapevine, just north of DFW Airport, was constructed in 1952 and provides Dallas with 11 million gallons of water per day. Farther north, on the Elm Fork of the Trinity River, is Lake Louisville, formerly known as Lake Dallas, and Garza Little Elm, which supplies 89 million gallons per day to Dallas. Lake Ray Hubbard, east of Dallas, was finished a decade ago and sends 58 million gallons per day into the Dallas system. Hubbard can also act as a temporary storage area for water from Lake Tawakoni, farther east, and Lake Lavon to the north, which together provide Dallas with 177 million gallons per day. Most of this water goes into Dallas homes and businesses, but over 30% of it is diverted for the use of the residents of 18 of Dallas's suburbs. Realizing the continuing growth in this area, the city of Dallas has been planning to take the major role in the construction of Lake Aubrey, a large reservoir which would be located north of Denton and which would send 64 million gallons per day into the Dallas system when completed. However, the question now is not when Lake Aubrey is going to be finished, but whether it's ever going to get started. The roadblock involves the increasingly delicate relationship between Dallas and its suburbs. Looking west along LBJ Freeway, with Dallas on the left and Farmers Branch on the right, the boundary between the two cities may as well be a stone wall. The suburban cities have generally operated in the past with only their own health and welfare in mind. They have actively resisted efforts by various groups to persuade them to assume a more responsible role in major metropolitan issues. The current controversy revolves around the fees that Dallas charges its suburban customers for purchasing Dallas water.
We're standing here this morning in front of the Field Circle metering station, which meters the water that goes to our customer cities of Irving and Grand Prairie. One of the controversies that have been pending now for several years before the Texas Water Rights Commission is that of equitable cost of water service to the customer cities which Dallas has contracts with. As you know, we have 18 customer cities that we provide water to, and 16 of those cities have in the past signed up and signed contracts with the city of Dallas. The two cities of Farmers Branch and Grand Prairie felt that the contracts were not equitable from their standpoint, and therefore they filed a case with the Texas Water Rights Commission.
I feel that the Dallas City Council does not want to subsidize suburban communities as far as giving them water and our taxpayers paying for their use of that water. We're going to have to take a very firm stand, but a fair stand. If we supply the water to suburban communities, we have to get our money back for it.
If the rate situation is not resolved satisfactorily, will Dallas still continue to plan on Lake Aubrey?
The rate case and its outcome is a significant factor in the planning of Lake Aubrey, and that would be one factor along with economics and timing and core funding and other things that would enter into that decision.
In 1972, the water contract between the City of Dallas and the City of Farmers Branch expired. We were presented a new contract at that time for a 30-year open-ended contract which provided that Dallas could raise the rates with only 6 months' notice without any negotiation between the two parties, further stipulating that we could purchase water from no other source. This seemed to be unfair to us. Dallas would not negotiate on the contract. We therefore, in 1973, asked the Water Rights Commission to intervene and to pass judgment on the case. Since that time, the Water Rights Commission has been holding hearings. An examiner for the Water Rights Commission has since that time ruled in our favor.
The report was not as thorough as we would like from an engineering standpoint. The economics of it were not as thorough as we had hoped, and we basically felt it was a unfounded conclusions that came about as a result of the examiner's action.
How do you feel about the jurisdiction that the TWRC is exerting in this case?
our attorneys, both our attorneys in Austin and our city attorney staff, have researched the statutes very thoroughly on the jurisdiction of the Water Rights Commission and have grave reservations about the original jurisdiction of the commission in the first place.
I don't believe Dallas has any ulterior motive. There has been no indication of such. I feel that they are probably, in their own mind, they feel that they are justified in asking for the rates. However, I think the basis for their rates is probably a little too high.
Would Dallas consider continuing to sell water to its suburbs only in exchange for their adoption of fair housing ordinances or allowing low-income groups in their communities?
I don't think that the Dallas City Council would set that kind of policy. I don't think they would use water as a hammer over the head, but I think it would bring us to the negotiating table more often. I don't think the bedroom communities have reached the conclusion or the realization that so goes Dallas, so goes the bedroom community. I think the light is dawning slowly that they do need us, but I think we have a big education period for them.